So, Superman marketing has ramped the fuck up, and I think it's actually doing a good job. However, there's also some weird stuff coming out about Superman, so I don't know if you guys saw Daniel RPK posted something about the plot, how the movie changed, and to me it's a little bit concerning. So, in this little section here, we'll talk about the promotion of Superman, how do we think it's doing, and then we'll talk about this rumor from Daniel RPK, and we'll see. Because I'm actually starting to feel like Superman might not even be that great of a film, because I'm kind of concerned about some of the things I'm hearing. But I think it's going to be full-on spectacle, and I think it's actually going to be incredibly successful. I mean, again, we live in a world where Lilo and Stitch is crushing it, Chicken Jockey is crushing it, and from what I understand, both those movies actually suck. So let's talk about this. First, let's look at this new spot here from the Supersmans. I believe this is a Chinese trailer, and it's good, man. It's real good. This is a TV spot here.
The glasses.
Hey, loser. You're a loser.
He's not a man. He's an it with a cocky grin and a stupid outfit.
Who's that guy you were seeing?
He's so strange.
Stop. Sit.
Oh, I like strange.
I think that's a pretty good trailer, man. Chat, you let me know. What?
Eventually, people are going to find out that you're Superman.
Yeah, but the glasses.
Hey, loser. You're a loser.
He's not a man. He's an it with a cocky grin and a stupid outfit.
Who's that guy you were seeing?
He's so strange.
Stop. Sit.
Oh, I like strange.
I mean, it's very James Gunn. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff in here. I'm like, but visually, dude, this looks incredible. Like, I truly think it looks really
People are
good.
going to find out that you're
That looks dope.
Superman.
Yeah,
I love the flying, dude. The flying sequence is incredible.
Loser. You're a loser.
He's not a man.
Dude, I mean, I'm just saying, like, all that kind of shit looks so fun.
Cocky grin and a stupid outfit.
Like, even the way he saves that lady and just, like, smiles at her a little bit there. Like, dude, it really is nailing.
Who's that guy you were seeing?
He's so strange.
Stop. Sit.
Oh, I like strange.
I think the visuals on this shit look phenomenal, dude. And I think it's selling off of those visuals, and I think it's gonna actually do pretty well. So it's funny, like the trailer has, I think, a lot of things in there that, you know, the folks that were worried about Guardians of the Galaxy Superman are like, ooh, I don't know about all that. But at the end of the day, like, I'm just so sold on these visuals, man. They look really good. Check this out. This is a new look at David Cornsweet as Superman, and I mean, my God, bro, this looks awesome. I really wish we could go back in time and make this into the first look, because goddamn, I really think the discourse around this thing would be very different. This looks really good to me. But, you know, look, they have it out now. They're pushing this out in different ways, and I think this is like Clark's a type of character that, just like looking at him, if it hits right, is enough to evoke all sorts of feelings. I mean, he is like living iconography. So this just being as good as it is and looking as nostalgic as it is, this could win some people over. Like, you know, it's just like a little marketing image, but like, real talk, like, you could see some dads or some uncles, like, and they see this image and they're like, you know, how about that Superman movie or something like that, you know? So I think the marketing kick over the last few days has been really good. And a part of that, strangely enough, is happening on Fortnite. I never in a million years thought that I would be up here talking about Fortnite and how Superman in Fortnite is a success for selling the film. I remember years ago, Marvel and the Russo brothers really started to dip their toe into this. There were different scenes and segments that they put into Fortnite. They would drop trailers into Fortnite. If you'll recall, there was like a little thing for Rise of Skywalker that happened exclusively in Fortnite. And I just remember being like, bro, what are they thinking? What are they doing? Well, I mean, I think now it makes sense. I mean, first of all, I think it looks incredible. I think the model that they made for the Fortnite game looks dope as hell. You know, honestly, looks better than the fucking suit in the movie in a lot of different ways, which is crazy. And then on top of that, the actual action, dude, Like the way he does like his super punching and flying around, the cape movement, all this stuff is like on point. Like you have a bunch of gamers excited about Superman in Fortnite, and I really do think that matters. And here's a great shot of it here, like the way he hits that car, boom! Like, dude, it just looks awesome, right? So I think this is a win. I think this is a W. I think they've done a lot of interesting marketing, and I would expect it to even take it further. And by all accounts, Superman is getting a ton of attention and is likely to do very well in the box office. I think either this week or next week. Like I've heard the rumor of the 12th. We'll see if that's how it actually ends up playing out. But we've heard the rumor that around the 12th, or maybe a little sooner, maybe a little bit later, the official tickets will go on sale for Superman. Now, of course, Marvel kind of undercut them a bit by pre-selling Fantastic Four, which happens 2 weeks after Superman. And so far, it's the biggest pre-sale of the year, right? If we hear that Superman has dethroned it, that'll be an incredible sign for Superman. But if it doesn't, then I think that's a little bit concerning. 2 weeks after your movie, a massive movie that's already selling out, setting records, that's certainly going to cut into the legs of this film overall in the box office. One of the things we talked about late last week, and I put this into the Nerdy News Rundown, Superman's budget is $400 million. Despite what Gunn wants you to believe, despite what The Wrap wants you to believe, THR broke the seal on this late last week and explained that the budget is at least $400 million, okay? So that was kind of wild in and of itself. I didn't really expect that. Like, I didn't expect, like, one Hollywood trade to break from the other Hollywood trade narrative and, like, basically say that this thing was one of the most expensive movies of all time. But that is true, and that is out there. Now, I said in NNR, and I still believe this, it does make it so the movie needs to make a significant amount more to be considered success in its own theatrical run. But I do not believe the movie needs to be profitable to justify the rest of the DCU. I think you need a very strong showing. I think you need a lot of signals that Superman and DC is now at a higher place in the zeitgeist, that the movie is making waves and that people are excited about it. But this is maybe one of the most expensive films ever made. I just don't know that you can actually sit there and say it needs to be really profitable or else. Kind of feels like this movie gets to $1 billion, it's just breaking even. That's kind of wild, but we'll see. Maybe Superman can even do better than that. I mean, if this thing makes 1.5 or more, then all of those problems, all those concerns go away. However, there is a little bit of concerning piece of news here about Superman. This has to do with leaks and rumors. I don't think it gives anything crazy away, but I guess I should issue a slight spoiler warning here. This is something we've been talking about over the past couple of weeks, guys. Basically, ever since the first screening of Superman, which happened late last year, we were told Warner Brothers wanted to make all kinds of changes to the movie. Now, as things went along, we got more details on that. And there was, of course, that big article about bringing in the other editor, bringing in the other composer, Warner Brothers making all kinds of cuts and all this sort of stuff, right? Well, about a week ago, Jeff Snyder reported that he had heard that there was a vignetting framing device in the film where it was going to take place in the days of the week. You'd have a Monday, you'd have a Tuesday, you'd have a, like every day of the week leading up to Sunday probably. Now, Jeff said that was removed. When I initially heard that, I was like, that's a little concerning. I wonder, are they still going to keep it as sort of an anthology thing, or are they going to now try to create it into a singular narrative? If they were creating it into a singular narrative, I was going to be a little bit concerned. Unfortunately, that appears to be what they're doing. James Gunn's Superman reworked from day-by-day format to single narrative. James Gunn wrote Superman movie script in an episodic structure, but the final cut moves away from the day-by-day format. According to Daniel Richtman's recent Patreon post, Superman initially had an episodic structure, breaking the story up by days. It has reportedly been turned into a continuous single narrative in the final edit. Below, you can watch the international teaser trailer. We reported that the budget of Superman is reportedly $225 million. According to the Hollywood Reporter, DC Studios and Warner Brothers could spend as much as $200 million on the global marketing campaign for Superman compared to the usual $150 for an all-audience summer tentpole. Here's the log line for DC, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that is kind of wild. Like, again, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're absolutely cooked, but in my opinion, the thing that this really means is like, dude, that is a big, big change. So I guess we'll just see. It doesn't mean they couldn't make it work, and we know that Gunn did reshoots, although they have categorized that as pickups and not a lot of intensive stuff. Maybe it was more intensive than they're leading on, which would help potentially make this new version of the film work together. I gotta be real here, man. I'm actually at a place here, just given everything I know about the film, I'm starting to believe that this could actually end up being one of the sloppiest films that Gunn has ever made. I'm personally of the mind that Fantastic Four will be a much better, cleaner actual story and film, okay? And unfortunately, I do get the feeling that Superman has changed to lean more into nostalgia and to lean more into its action, okay? Now, that doesn't mean I don't think I'll enjoy the film. And in fact, some of the changes that were apparently made are quite encouraging to me. We talked about how people were saying they took a lot of the jokes out, right? And I don't like Gunn's infantile sense of humor. So like for me, taking out some of those jokes, that's great. If they took the super shit rumor out, amazing. Like, incredible. I'm excited about it. But I'm just being honest. Like, I feel like because we've heard so much about how Warner Brothers wanted to change this movie, and Warner Brothers is so concerned about the movie. And as we're about to talk about in the next segment here, Warner Brothers is breaking their shit up into two companies. They probably want to sell all of this off anyways. So it's all a long con to sell and to get a good acquisition or something like that, right? So there's just a lot of scary corporate pressure that was put onto Superman. I mean, if it were any other film in the world, we would say that's a bad sign. You know, I know there's going to be people out there that want to just support Gunn and support Superman, and they're like, no, it can't be. I mean, I think if you're just being objective, that's not good. You don't want to hear that shit. And it does not foster probably the kind of creativity that you're looking for as a filmmaker. But it is corporate art. It is commercial art. And it's something that's really important to Warner Brothers. So I'm kind of leaning towards this film maybe not actually being as sharp as a lot of other James Gunn films, which, like, you know, look, I don't even love Gunn stuff. I like the Guardians movies, but really the first one's the best, the third one's pretty good, and the second one I did not like, right? So maybe we're looking at something a little bit more like the second Guardians, which is like a little wild, a little sloppy, uneven, but ultimately still has, you know, heart, has spectacle, has all these really great things, and maybe that'll be just fine. I'm getting the impression that Superman is going to be very successful. That's the impression that I am getting. I think Superman is going to be very successful. I think that whenever they hired that marketing dude, that ex-Disney guy, I think that was a brilliant move because basically from that moment on, the Superman marketing, I think, has been a lot better. I think the movie's going to be fun. I think it's going to be spectacle, but I think we might see a lot of blemishes and a lot of flaws, which is probably okay too. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably okay too, especially if it is commercially successful. Right? So I just wanted to bring this to your attention because, of course, we cover all this sort of stuff. A lot of us are curious how Superman going to perform, etc., etc. To me, just based on the marketing, some of the numbers I've seen before, I think it's going to pop off. And we'll know soon when the ticket sales start. But I'm also slowly getting this feeling that it's not actually going to be a super sharp A+, you know, kind of movie. I think there's definitely going to be some blemishes, and it's super concerning that it goes from an episodic thing to like a flowing narrative like that. That of course that could work, but like that is not the shit you want to hear. You know what I mean? And we didn't hear any of that with Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four basically went off without a hitch. Like they nailed it with Fantastic Four. So Just different things happening for these two different movies, and I just want to bring this to your attention so you can kind of adjust your expectations. And of course, if you have any questions about it, let me know. Thanks for watching, and if you like this clip, smash a like on the actual video and subscribe to this channel. That way more of these clips get into your feed. I've also linked the full episode below if you want to check out the entire thing, including the Q&A we do with fans. You can also watch this show live. We do it live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And you can also find all of my content, including the videos I put on my main YouTube channel, on the podcast feed.